Tonight, American Embassy bracing for a 2-week marathon protest backed by think tank IMANI-Ghana to power pressure to secure the immediate extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta as he appears before U.S. immigration judge for the first time tomorrow morning.
Ken Ofori-Atta had taken decisions that had adverse or deleterious effects on Ghanaians. You know, some people died when he unilaterally, arbitrarily decided to give Ghanaians haircuts.
We have details of tomorrow's protest, plus hear from the conveners who say they will be forced to spend nights at the U.S. Embassy if their call is not heeded.
The police had some challenge. They had some difficulties and we had to, compromise on that.
So you'll be doing this for 2 weeks?
2 weeks. If it doesn't...
From what time to what time every day?
So from 8 a.m. to the evening, say 5 or 6, we leave and we go back.
Okay.
As and when it becomes necessary for us to pass the night there, we'll do it.
We have details of that here on Top Story. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. My name is Fostina. Sarfo, please stay for details. Tonight, the American Embassy here in Accra is bracing itself for a 2-week marathon protest backed by think tank IMANI-Ghana to power pressure on the U.S. government to secure the immediate extradition of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as he appears before U.S. immigration judge for the first time tomorrow morning. The former Finance Minister was arrested and kept in detention by the U.S. Immigration, Customs and Enforcement officers following the revocation of his visa. There has since been raging calls for his return to face justice. Tonight, pressure group Arise Ghana is taking their demand to the next level as they hit the street from tomorrow, picketing the U.S. Embassy over the matter. Let's listen to one of the conveners, Selom Dramado, on why exactly they've decided to do this and why it's important to hit the streets.
We are not engaging in cherry picking. We are not engaging in that. Maybe the question should have been, what is Arise Ghana stance on Sedinam Tamaklo?
Well, what is your stand on?
We are actually taking steps for that lady to also be brought back because in her case she has been convicted. She has been convicted, so therefore she must be brought back to Ghana. And then it is incumbent on the NBC administration, this very administration that is being superintended by John Dramani Mahama,
right,
to bring her to this country to actually serve her jail sentence. You understand? Because that will put the NDC, that will give some credibility to the NDC. It will redound to the NDC's credit if they are able to bring that lady to also serve her jail term here in Ghana. But the focus now is Ken Ofori-Atta, because Ken Ofori-Atta had taken decisions that had adverse or deleterious effects on Ghanaians. You know, some people died when he unilaterally, arbitrarily decided to give Ghanaians haircuts.
You have fact to that?
Yes. Some people.
And you are linking the death of those people to the haircuts?
Your own station interviewed individuals who were going through frustration as a result of the implementation of...
But you cannot blame that on Ken Ofori-Atta.
We can blame it on him because he unilaterally, arbitrarily took that decision which had affected Ghanaians, which had taken some people to trauma. And we said we shouldn't link it to him. He's actually responsible for the ailments those people are going through today, the frustration those people are going through today, and those who have died. That is why he must come to Ghana to face accountability. Because The Constitution of Ghana, the preamble of the Constitution of Ghana. With your permission, let me just say to this thing to you, so Ken Ofori-Atta and his ilks will know that indeed, when we say accountability, it is something that is enshrined in the Constitution of Ghana. The Constitution says, and I quote, in the name of the Almighty God, we the people of Ghana, in exercise of our natural and inalienable right to establish a framework of government, we shall secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity and prosperity, in a spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world. And in solemn declaration of our commitment and affirmation to freedom, justice, probity, and accountability. That is what is enshrined in the Constitution. That is the preamble of our Constitution. And the Constitution has also talks about some other provisions that you see accountability clearly.
So all this is about accountability, protecting democracy.
Exactly, because if we fail to hold our leaders accountable, what will happen is that criminal gangs will form political parties, because they know that when they come and they deplete our coffers.
Well, you heard that Selom Dramado, and he says he will escalate it if indeed their protest is not receiving the necessary attention.
To cover and to listen to Ghanaians, how Ghanaians will be wailing and bleating because of the decisions, the injurious decision Ken Ofori-Atta took, which had affected majority of Ghanaians. You know, under Ken Ofori-Atta, before, you know, in the twilight of his position as the finance minister, about 82,000 Ghanaians slid into poverty. World Bank report, you remember.
But that was not linked to
it. Was linked. Who was managing the state?
No, you cannot blame failure of a country on one man's head. No, Salom.
The gentleman was charged.
He was the finance minister. So, of course, there were some good things he did, but we cannot blame everything on him. We can blame it on the government of the day at the time. So we cannot say because he was the finance minister, every bad thing that happened because he was the finance minister.
Whose decision actually makes it such that if Ghanaians are going to be rich or Ghanaians will be wealthy, it will emanate from that person? Whose decision? When you look at
it's the governance structure, so it's not based on one person.
Today we are hailing somebody. Majority of Ghanaians are hailing the finance minister, Ato Forson, that he's able to, he's trying to turn things round. Okay, should the economic indicators now be appearing in the negative, who should we blame?
You blame the administration.
No, we blame Ato Forson because he's the one.
You will choose to blame, but to be fair to former finance minister, you cannot cite him as the reason why the figure you are quoting, so many people slip into poverty. Exactly.
2,000 Ghanaians that were plunged, they were actually plunged into poverty as a result of Ken Ofori-Atta's decision. Because he was the gentleman in the helm. He was the one responsible for economic planning.
Okay.
So you want to tell me that poverty is not a byproduct of economic planning and economic decisions of a country? Because if you are the one managing the kitty and people become rich, is he not going to take credit for it? It's much the same way. If he plunges people into poverty, he must be blamed that he actually took decisions that plunged Ghanaians into abject poverty.
So beyond tomorrow, are you presenting any petitions to anyone at the U.S. Embassy?
At this stage, we don't intend to present any petition. We're just going to be doing a peaceful picket there.
From what time to what time?
For 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes. We'll be there for 2 weeks because the initial plan was actually to be there Sinidai. You understand? Until Ken Ofori-Atta set his foot there, we will not leave. But the police had some challenge. They had some difficulties and we had to compromise on that.
So you'll be doing this for 2 weeks?
2 weeks. If it doesn't...
From what time to what time every day?
So from 8 a.m. to the evening, say 5 or 6, and we leave, and we go back.
Okay.
As and when it becomes necessary for us to pass the night there, we'll do.
Okay.
Well, let's explore this further. Join me now is Selim Dramani Dramado, is member of Arise Ghana. I also have with me Franklin Kujo, president of Imani Africa. Appreciate your time, gentlemen. I'd like to start with Selim. What is your personal interest in the person Ken Ofori-Atta? Why are you doing this?
My personal, okay, let me say good evening to your esteemed listeners. Now back to your question. My personal interest in this is to hold the former Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, to the fire of accountability, because this gentleman has actually destroyed legion of lives, and he must account for his tenure as the former Minister of Finance, because our democracy will be consolidated further if former government officials are held to the blazing fire of accountability. And we must start with Ken Ofori-Atta, because he has destroyed lives and he cannot evade justice or accountability. No. Wherever he is, he must be pursued to come back to Ghana.
This is not the first time. This is not the first time you agree with me that a government official appears to be evading justice. Why have you found your voice now?
You're asking this is not the first time a government official is evading justice?
Indeed. Sedilam Tamaklo, she was tried in absentia.
Okay, so Sedilam Tamaklo was tried in absentia, convicted. Okay, I understand that government is making serious efforts to bring Sedilam Tamaklo back to Ghana to serve her sentence. So at Arise Ghana, we are not doing. I said it a while ago on the pause that Arise Ghana is not doing cherry picking. We are not picking and choosing at all.
But it appears that is what you are doing.
But the focus now is on Ken Ofori-Atta. It's on Ken Ofori-Atta. It doesn't mean that we cannot pursue Ken Ofori-Atta and Sedilam Tamaklo simultaneously. We can do same. But for now, there's a lesser focus on Ken Ofori-Atta because it is clear, unambiguously clear, that he is invading accountability. For the other lady,
but in the legal processes,
the other person,
the legal processes are ongoing. The United States, they've already stated that they would not stand in the way of Ghana, especially with the extradition process. We heard from the Foreign Affairs Minister give us that update. So why not wait for it to actually go through the process, and then he will be brought into the country?
My sister, there's nothing. What you're saying, that because the government has also taken initiative and then has received some assurance from the United States authorities that they will not impede the process to bring Ken Ofori-Atta back to Ghana. And then what Arise Ghana has also decided to do, it's not mutually exclusive. You understand? It is not mutually exclusive. We can do both and be. Our role, what we're doing now, is just a complementary effort on the part of citizens of Ghana to also add their voices to what government is doing. For the American authorities to know that it is not just the government of Ghana that is interested in bringing Ken Ofori-Atta back to Ghana to face accountability. The majority of the Ghanaian citizens want Ken Ofori-Atta back, and justice for Arise Ghana represents the voice of those Ghanaians who are asking Ken Ofori-Atta to come back to Ghana.
Clearly, you tell us that you will not be submitting a petition. So, what then is the purpose of your picketing?
No, what I indicated is that because this thing, our picket will last for 2 weeks. So, on the first day, no petition will be presented. And when we'll be presenting a petition, that will let the Ghanaian public know that today we are going to present a petition to the American embassy, the officials at the American embassy. But for now, tomorrow we are only going to engage in a peaceful picket at the United States embassy to send the message loud and clear to the American government that Ghanaians want that gentleman back here. He is now engaging in some contrived excuses and reasons that he is entertaining some sense of apprehension that when he comes back to Ghana, he will be met with some form of hostility.
But you cannot speak for him, can you? So then the big question on my mind is what you're seeking to achieve, because clearly we heard from the U.S. authority that his visa did not expire, it was revoked, and so the processes are underway. Why are you piling pressure on them at this point in time when you can just wait, really, for the process to
You mean we are piling pressure on the Ken Ofori-Atta or piling pressure on the United States government?
It appears you're piling pressure on the United States government.
We are not piling pressure on the United States government, because the United States government prides itself and styles itself as the cradle, as the beacon and bastion of democracy. You understand? So this is not even a pressure that the United States government cannot contain. This pressure, you cannot even describe it as a pressure, because the gentleman will be facing the United States court tomorrow. And then here in Ghana, there's also a picket about the same gentleman. So
but you tell us that the protest is going to be for 2 weeks. You tell us that you'll be spending 2 weeks at the U.S. Embassy.
If it's brought back to Ghana, then that will be the end of our picket. But if he continues to sojourn in the United States, we will continue to picket the United States Embassy in Ghana.
So it means even past the 2 weeks timeline you're giving yourself, if you do not see any favorable response, you would continue to picket the U.S. Embassy?
We will continue to picket and find other democratic means to mount pressure on the government of Ghana and on the United States government to bring Ken Ofori-Atta back to Ghana.
And what do you mean by this democratic means?
I said democratic means we are not going to engage in any unconventional means to bring him back to Ghana. We will do everything within the precinct of democratic rules and democratic governance.
And it still brings me to my question: what your personal interest is in all of this?
I'm surprised you're describing it personal. I am an activist. You see, Dramani Salom Dramado is an activist and has been doing this thing for more than 2 decades of holding duty bearers accountable. And at the time Ken Ofori-Atta was engaged in destroying our economy, some of us started sounding alarm bells. Sometime in 2021, when he was retained as the Minister for Finance, we sounded alarm bell. We told the president at the time, Mr. Nana, what's his name? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to relieve that gentleman of his position, but he never heeded our call. His brother is evading justice and taking the United States as his sanctuary and solid. We are telling the United States government that they shouldn't provide or they shouldn't make their country as a safe or safe haven for somebody who is evading justice and accountability.
But then, as a country, we've already triggered the extradition process. So why don't you wait for that to run its full course?
I didn't quite hear your question.
As a country, we've heard from our AG that they've triggered the extradition process. Why don't you wait for that to run its full course?
My sister, we have waited enough. The AG is doing what his office can allow, what his office mandates him to do. We are also doing what the Constitution of Ghana mandates us to do. So
you don't trust the AG to do his job?
Accountable.
You do not trust the AG to do his job?
As enshrined in Article 21(3) also.
So you do not trust the AG to do his job?
We are not in the list suggesting that we have reservations about the processes or the initiatives taken by the AG. We have no basis for any such reservations.
Stay with me, Salom. Let me bring in Franklin Kujo, as president of Imani Africa. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. You agree with Arise Ghana that indeed the protest they plan to embark on is the way forward. Why?
Hi, good evening. First of all, I think we need to establish some basic facts about what I call a civic responsibility. I kept hearing you basically asking the gentleman, what's your locus in this? What is this? Look, every citizen has a right to ask questions or to demand answers from their duty bearers. And I think it's important that we establish that fact there. The reason why some of us actually support this cause, but it is not the only cause. There are several of them that some of us have supported in the past. But the reason why I typically think we should be supporting this cause is that, look, there's a gentleman we all knew. I mean, Ken. Some of us were close buddies, really good friends. But the decisions he took, in fact, people do not know. You know, he and Tesla were the signatories to that, what I call tax thieving Kelly GVG, which, by the way, the contract subsists all the way up to 2028. They never provided a single evidence of telco stealing money. But they were getting they were getting how much? $1.5 million quietly. I don't know whether they were taking it themselves or somebody else was enjoying. We never saw any single report. It didn't go to Parliament. Then come SML. You see the pattern. And look, so for me, I think it is important that he comes to answer those questions. I'm surprised. I think, like I said, this is a gentleman who preached a lot of civic responsibility. We were on several programs and all of that, and he evokes that type of charm. All of a sudden, this country has become like a banana republic. He can't come into the country to come and answer questions. Look, what he did, together with his lawyers, was to disrespect the OSP. They consistently maligned him, made him look like a toy, and the guy said, "I will teach you a lesson," and managed to put him on an Interpol list.
His lawyers initially argued that his health condition, was not favorable for Ken to be in the country. The reason they wanted him to be tried in absentia.
Well, I can argue with that. But you see, later events actually proved to us that some of that, about 70% of those are lies. Total lies. And those lawyers, by the way, I think we should be holding them account for the unfortunate situation Ken finds himself. I mean, Ken is being iced in a facility with criminals. Can you imagine? I mean, a whole finance minister who had this verve, who had this prestige. You guys messed up and actually made him walk into some facility because of what I call Tuno.
No, but to be clear, though, his visa was revoked. That's why he's in ICE detention.
Well, listen.
It has nothing to do with extradition process.
If his lawyers were wiser, they would have told him that, look, my brother, calm down. Don't wait until your visa is revoked. Why was his visa revoked? Have you asked yourself why the visa was revoked? There are many Ghanaians who are in America. Why was Ken's visa revoked? So for me, look, the whole thing it's making me feel so bad that the man I used to cherish, that the sort of conversation I used to have, has just become a brave coward. A very brave coward. And he doesn't want to come and answer questions. And then they went on hiring people to write all sorts of trash about Ghana. I mean, I remember when they wrote that piece of the Daily Telegraph. I had to call the editor of the Daily. I said, look, what nonsense. Did you guys verify all the things that the so-called journalists are writing?
But then we've heard from the U.S. Embassy. They spoke to the Foreign Affairs Minister, and they served notice that they will not stand in the way of Ghana's extradition processes. And so why not wait, really, for that process to complete and also run its course?
Madam, too much meat does not spoil the soup. The point really is that they are coordinated. I like to see many more of these, by the way. Well, look, Ken and I, well, you know, IMANI-Backed set up Occupy Ghana. Do you know that? We worked with him. We were all over, asking questions. This Ken was there, saying, if the Ghanaians don't do this, you should protest. Suicide to Kramu Yefi. You are to the NDC government, and you are doing. Look, the things he said, the things he asked for. Why is he running away from the same things?
But the law is clear, though. You are innocent until proven guilty. We've heard from a rights Ghana.
Hold on. Nobody has said. You see, I've not said he's stolen anything, did I? I'm only saying that I've seen some of the contract. Look, Kenny GVG. There were many nights before this guy signed Kenny GVG. That night, there was a whole, their own, one of the deputy ministers, smuggled it and came to us, said, Charlie, and they signed this thing. They didn't even go to Parliament. We've been bleeding this country $1.5 million every from 2017 up to today, and it's going up to 2028.
But frankly, you know that just as said in a Tamaklo, he could be tried in absentia, and that's an option also available.
Well, Lusadna was actually tried here before she ran away, by the way. Lusadna was an absconder. She basically absconded from the law, and she must be brought. You know, by the way, when we talk about this, you know what irritates me in this country? So bring settlement. Why? Am I responsible for crimes? If whatever she has done, go and look for her. How many years did you spend in opposition? You should have done all of that. What's the point? So this whole thing to compare, it's quite irritating. Look, the fact of the matter is I'm only interested in my good friend Ken. I think he owe us explanations. And he has to come and face those questions. Nobody is going to do anything to him. In fact, if anybody tries to do anything to him, some of us will basically we may lay our lives. But he has to come and face the questions. Accountability is key.
We've heard from Arise Ghana that they will be doing this picketing for as long as the U.S. Embassy do not give them results. And so are you willing to stand by them throughout this process as Imani-Ghana?
I'm sure you know Imani doesn't really differ, right? We'll stand by them. We'll stand by anybody else who wants to join the group. If you occupy Ghana as it is now, I don't know whether they exist, but if they come, we'll still have them. I'm just trying to tell you that all these things going on, let's not make it look as if some people are special than the others. No, never. It should never happen, right? They should come and face the law. Nobody will mistreat him. I'm sorry, nobody. And that thing people are asking, how will we treat them? Anyway, I don't want to. I'm not interested in equalization. Okay. The kinds of things these guys did when they were in power to ordinary citizens, ordinary people, ministers. What are you talking about? But anyway, that's not I don't do that.
So, Franklin, will you be with Arise Ghana?
You should come and answer the questions. That's all.
Franklin, will you be with Arise Ghana for the 2 weeks?
Sorry?
Would you be with Arise Ghana for the 2 weeks?
Oh.
Will you be there in person?
I've already told you that we are with them to whatever time they
so you're going to be there in person?
Whatever resource, yeah.
Okay, looking forward to seeing you there. Let me wrap up with Selam Dramani. He's a member of Arise Ghana. We appreciate your time. So what should we expect tomorrow?
We expect tomorrow is that we are embarking on a historic ticket at the United States Embassy. So I'm using the opportunity to call on Ghanaians of all life to come to the United States Embassy tomorrow to bring pressure to bear on the United States government to bring Ken Ofori-Atta to repatriate, deport, or extradite him back to Ghana. And
how many are you?
How many are we at in terms of the membership of Arise Ghana?
And how many people will be showing up tomorrow?
The letter we wrote to the police, we actually stated the number 2,000.
I see. Thank you so much, yes. Selam Dramani.
You're welcome, and good evening.
Member of Arise Ghana. I've also been engaging Franklin Kujo, president of Imani Africa. And that's how we wrap up Top Story. Up next is Newsnight.
In the next 60 minutes here on Newsnight, private transport operators joined forces with government to roll out a joint security task force, a last-ditch effort to rein in indiscipline and halt the unchecked charging of unapproved fares.
Calling on the Ministry of Local Government and the MMDCs to be able to decongest the city. Because most of the traffic build-up, most of the passenger pile-up is as a result of the traffic build-up.
At the very latest for you, we tell you why the Transport Minister is ordering an investigation into the suspicious purchase and sale of some Metro Mass transit buses. Also tonight.
Ghana's electricity supply under threat as Bui Power Authority warns that illegal mining activities around the dam risk plunging huge swatches of the country into darkness.
It causes siltation of the river, decreases the effective volume of the reservoir.
So if it is given us a minimum of 200 megawatts, without that, almost half of Kumasi will not have electricity.
Also tonight, Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly prepares for mass evictions in less than 24 hours along the Santase-Ahojo Road to pave way for dualization project.
they know the challenge. You can't find any free space for them to occupy. So we're trying to get pockets so that they can all go. They will go. I mean, you see.
In business, competition in the oil marketing industry intensifies as another major player, Zen, drops price of petrol to 9 cedis 94 pesos.
And in sports, Moroccan FA to take legal action with CAF and FIFA over Senegal's walk-off protest in the AFCON final.
I want to join us with your views and comments here on Newsnight. 055-111-11997 is a WhatsApp line. My name is Mensah.
Mine is Gemma, Appiah.
You have details after this.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecell's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
Simply buy the 150 Ghana cedis Telecell Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecell Play app or visit the Telecell website to buy now.
Telecell, connecting energies.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is the story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
At 18, Mr. Mensah got his first student mattress. It was hard and unyielding, just what he thought he needed. At 46, he chose a mattress that was too soft and did not provide him adequate support. Now at 66, when you hear Mr. Mensah coming, he groans and croaks. Now he needs a chiropractor. The choices you make catch up with you. Talk to a comfort expert at Latex Foam to help you choose from pocketed spring mattresses to orthopedic and high-density foam mattresses tailored for your age, posture, and body type. And now, Latex Foam is even more. From home to office furniture that has your back, Latex Foam has a range of durable products that give you total comfort for a healthier life. View our full product range on our new interactive website at latexfoamghana.com or visit Latex Foam showrooms nationwide to speak to a comfort expert. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Ghana, listen up. If you're serious about starting 2026 right, Joy FM has something big for you. It's the Joy FM Big Workout happening Saturday, January 31st, and we're starting sharp at 6 a.m. at the University of Ghana Stadium. We're walking through East Legon, coming back to the stadium, turning up the energy with non-stop aerobics, music, games, and that unbeatable Joy FM atmosphere. No pressure, no judgment. All fitness levels welcome. Whether you're just starting out or you're already active, this one is for you. So call your friends, charge your energy, lace up those sneakers and pull up. January 31st, 6 a.m., University of Ghana Stadium. This is not just a workout, it's a movement. The Joy FM Big Workout. New year, renewed you.
It's live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. And tonight, private transport operators in Accra are joining forces with government to roll out a joint security task force, a last-ditch effort to rein in indiscipline and halt the unchecked charging of unapproved fares.
The unions, which include the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, partly attributes the challenges bedeviling the transport sector to misconduct among some members, including the practice of charging multiple times for the same distance. After a closed-door meeting with driver unions and the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari-Nikbe, the operators say they are prepared to personally tackle the issue with support from the ministry. We'll hear from the union shortly, but first, I have been engaging frustrated commuters who say their daily commute has become a nightmare. It's past 9 a.m. On a Monday morning, and commuters are still in long winding queues hoping to get a vehicle to get to work. Let me get closer to some of the commuters who have been in the queue for a very long time and speak to them about this transport challenges. Thank you so much for joining us on the Joy News channel. How long have you been in this queue? How many minutes?
Oh, about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes.
Ajengano.
Yeah.
Na situation sana etie de bia na say ne nkwa na etisa.
Oh, every Monday there say not. Every Monday there everyone na line no, they are no yeshe pa. So times we number na 40 minutes plan on rule so.
Na situation how saying?
Oh, how me pa because I just by 7:38 essentially make do adwuma. But by this time regional lie. I check by this time go adwuma and me adwuma. By this thing no lam na regional no.
We adwuma wa adwenga no.
But
say why you late?
I'm late pa, I'm late. Because at 30 minutes I'm doing no. Me I can't just say go adwuma.
Time na we say u do adwuma.
Oh, I just by 8 minutes I'm go adwuma. But it's
what time do you have to get to work?
Normally, I'm supposed to be there around 7:30 to 8. I must be there.
And it's past 9. You're still in the queue.
Yeah, because of transportation issues. So we don't know. We can also fly, but obviously we have to wait for the transport.
Oh, me buy the bear 1 hour near. I'm in But bus na kwa a chance na aba me say trafficking na me wo problem kakra problem I want to say bus ni lodu wi a omo gina mu no e too much sin yen ya yete ho no e bus a e ma ohome eti. So
she's complaining about the number of people that the Ayalolo buses take when they are loading. She says the people the commuters, the number of commuters who stand in the buses are more than those who are seated. And that affects them when they are moving from one place to the other.
Well, Gemma interacting with the commuters there. And Gemma, as you know today, the Transport Minister has been meeting with the transport unions. We can now listen to some of them. They've been interacting with my colleague, Fatau, who was at the Transport Ministry today.
They should come and guide themselves with the task force
so that they will see to it that all the drivers are doing things in the very right way, so that the congestion with this structure and those people will be.
Calling on the Ministry of Local Government and the MMDCs to be able to decongest the city. Because most of the traffic build-up, most of the passenger pile-up is as a result of the traffic build-up. It reduces our travel turnaround time and all that. So it's something that we have committed to work with it. We expect the ministry also to play it through very well.
For those who are charging above should be a thing of the past, because that is totally cheating. You are not supposed to take 5 cedis from somebody. Instead of 5 cedis, you are taking 10 cedis.
We think that the task force will do. And we want them to do it in all of us. We are not going to sing out with a particular like Jeep, a Tiger or Protua or a concern. No, all of us, we want them to be one particular task force so that he will be taking care of all of us.
So you heard there, Abbas Imoro, he's a spokesperson of the GPLTU. Pink Dankwa speaks for the Tiger Transport Association. Niashi, acting PRO of the Concerned Drivers Association, and the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Emmanuel-Ahene-Yeboah.
Meanwhile, the director of the West Africa Regional Center of CATS International, Kofi Adomako-Appiah, is calling on government to develop a clear and standardized framework for determining commercial transport fares in Ghana amid growing concerns that operators have failed to reduce fares despite declining fuel prices.
Heard that most of the union are saying that prices of transport fares are not determined by fuel price alone, but the spare part prices, and that spare parts are going up. But when you look at even the rate of the cedi to the dollar, it's also trends that spare parts should be coming down. So in this country, we always do firefighting. I think one way around this thing is that we need to be able to design a model for running of commercial cars and say that, look, fuel prices account for, let's say, 60% of the running of the car. Then that of spare parts is, let's say, 20%, and maybe other overheads. So that we know that anytime the fuel prices goes down, we know that there is a way that the prices should also have to go down. Until we do this, car owners, unions, and drivers will always find way around it and always abuse the consumer.
Well, I want to bring in now Emmanuel-Ahene-Yeboah. He's the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, and he joins us on the line right now. He was at the meeting. Emmanuel, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. We're hearing tonight about a joint effort to have a task force. Tell us more.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, your voice is too far away.
Can you hear me? Is it better?
I think it's better this way.
Good. Tell me about this joint task force that I understand the operators are going to be forming together with yourselves and the ministry.
Thank you very much, my brother. I think as it used to be some years back, the union, especially the GPIH, had some guards which were policing the drivers' activities. But of late, because of liberalization of the operations, you don't see them any longer. But the situation we have on our hands has necessitated that we find a way of reorganizing this task force to be able to implement all the things that we have planned to do. So for now, that is a decision that we are in a few days from now, we are going to make sure we implement the task force regime so that we can police the operations along our corridors, what they are doing in terms of overcharging and all that. So that's what we are trying to do.
And break this down for me when you talk about the task force. How are you constituting it? Who are the members of the task force?
Well, that is a proposal we have just tabled, and leadership will sit around the table and see how we compose it. But we have many unions, including the GPIHU. But the many unions that attended the meeting, I can say we are over 30 different unions. So at least we see how we can draw membership from some of the unions to form the task force and see to it that we implement it. And to avoid, people taking advantage of the situation as well.
Will you have police joining this task force?
Well, like I said, we are about considering the modalities. It's a proposal we have made, but as to the detailed modalities, we'll discuss it when we sit around the table to do the nomination for the membership.
You talk to some of the drivers and they say the reason why we are having this current crisis is partly because a lot of them have parked their cars, the spare parts are too expensive, and so the cars are broken down. Have you investigated this, and what have you found at the council?
Well, I'm aware that some of the vehicles are old. Some of them are at the workshop after the extensive Christmas activities. Most of them have gone to workshop to do refurbishment. So it's possible that's a factor. But I can't say on authority that maybe spare parts would force someone to park his or a vehicle, you know. So I don't think those is a concern, but I don't think that's one of the main issues. Well, there is a means of your income. So whatever it is, once we need to go on the road and make our livelihood, I don't think it is a justifiable reason to say that because of spare parts we are parking about it.
While I have you, let me ask you. We've seen fuel prices at the pumps dropping. Some are selling fuel prices at the pumps. We've seen the prices dropping. Some are selling a liter of petrol, for example, below 10 cedis. Is there a conversation about drivers possibly considering a reduction in fares in light of what we are witnessing at the pumps?
Well, I see as a practice, beginning of every year, by the first quarter, we meet as a group, the Transport Ministry and the Operators Front. We meet and look at the numbers. That is the fuel prices, the spare parts prices, our assembly levies, income taxes, and all those things. We put those things together and to determine whether there's a justifiable cause to increase it or to reduce it. But we are in today, number 19th January. We are yet to end the first month. So maybe by the end of the second month, we'll be able to meet and look at the numbers. And if there's a need for us to do reduction, we'll do that. If there's, we think the what we have come so far is good, we maintain it.
Mr. Ofori-Atta, Gemma here. I want to take you back to the talk about the task force. How soon are you going to put together the modalities to get them to work?
It won't be too long. We are looking at it by the end of this week. We should be able to talk about it positively.
Thank you very much. IMANI-Backed there is the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. In Gemma, we have Fatau in the studio with us because he covered the that meeting for us. And Fatau, the sector minister, has also been interacting with you.
Exactly.
He's been talking about some suspicious activity, I believe, at the Metro Mars.
Exactly, Evans. Over the weekend, the Deputy Managing Director of Metro Mars, Harun Appiah Redu, he spoke about the fact that some 313 buses were declared unserviceable and were sold barely 2 months before the 2020 elections, which in fact now is raising a lot of concerns among many of us. He said that these buses were sold just 2,500 for each, right? So the minister has been responding to this, and he said that he has instructed the management and board to immediately look into this matter.
We are now telling our transport union, like the STC and Metro Mars, at all years, whatever that you are doing, you must ensure that you renew your fleet. It will no more be that you will leave them to get to some stage, you auction them, and that is it. We are looking at retooling them. When we do that, it is now going to be a duty that at all times they will continuously replace whatever they are using on a yearly basis, at least to start.
But selling these buses are just 2,500 cedis each. Are you not concerned about this, given the price?
Whether I am concerned or not is one of the issues that when we came in, we said things happen, and those agencies could not even stand to go to the market to do any business. What we did was to sanitize the system. Most of them had difficulties in paying salaries. most of them, their revenue was not that encouraging. So nobody wanted to do business with them. What we sought to do was to ensure that we sanitize their books, we make their revenue collection on daily basis improve, and that is what we have done over the years. They now have a good turnover, they make good revenue, and everybody now wants to sit at the table with them to see what we will do. As for the auctions, this was what we had, but the boards are going through to see whether or not they were of correct merit for that amount. It is not something that I can just say that it was whether over or it was not unduly priced, but it was auctions that they did. And if we need to caution or to go into it, I've instructed all the management and boards to have a second look at it.
Gemma, thank you. Thankfully, we can bring in Harun Appiah. Redu is the Deputy Managing Director of Metro Mass Transit Limited, joins us on the line. Before we even discuss the subject of the investigations, we were expecting that you'll be bringing in some 300 buses to fix the current crisis that we are witnessing on the streets with commuters during rush hour. Do you have an update on that?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much to your listeners. As you rightly put it, as Metro Bus, let me run our viewers through a few issues of, or a few bits of historical antecedents. As you are aware, or a few bits into history, as you are aware, our company was established by an Act of Parliament in 2003. And at the time, OSA was birthed, Metro Bus was birthed out of OSA, then defunct public transport services. And as a result of the coming into force of Metro Mass around 2003-2004, former President Kufuor began Metro Mass with a fleet level of from 2003 spanning to 2008, about 1,000 buses. By 2009, the fleet level has reduced to about 500 operational buses. Then from 2009 to 2016, the then NDC government under Ms. Mahama also augmented our fleet level with additional 600 plus buses. So by 2017, we were having close to about 1,110 operational buses for the company. Between the same period, around 2017-2018, when the previous government was in office, they actually put on sale, about 300 plus buses, and they declared those buses as scraps. Then, exactly 2 months into the election of 2024, around October, again, the previous government put 313 buses again on scraps, and they sold it to some persons and individuals at the time. Now, coming back to your issue, this has really affected our fleet level. And as we speak, we are routing all-time low fleet of buses in the history of the company. We are currently routing just about 115 buses across Ghana. About 90 buses are at various levels of repairs. 197 buses have been declared unserviceable due to poor maintenance culture, lack of supervision, and poor management system at the time. Currently, as we speak, surprisingly, my brother, even though we are routing the lowest ever buses in the history of the company, this is also the moment we are recording or generating the highest ever revenue in the history of the company.
Well Harun, to the point, when are you expecting the new buses to come in?
Yes, so that's what I was coming. So with this glaring achievement and performance, His Excellency the President has come in and has stepped in to retool the company with about 300 buses. And these buses are of Isuzu brands. And currently the buses are sailing to Ghana. We are expecting these buses to get to Ghana by the last quarter of February. By first week of March, the supply of the buses have been staggered into 3 phases. The first phase of funding will arrive by first week of March, and the President will receive it on behalf of the people of Ghana, and he will then transfer it to Metro Mass for us to fully operate it. The other stretch or the other leg of the 100 supply, now I told you it's in 3 phases. The other leg, we are also expecting the other leg around June, July. Then the last 100 completing the 300 supply package will also happen around somewhere September. this year. So if all things being equal, by September ending, the President, His Excellency, would have retooled the company with about 300 buses Isuzu brand of 29-seater. Within the same framework, His Excellency, the President, is supporting us with Toyota His buses 15-seater, about 200 pieces, then Costa buses 100 pieces, within the same financial framework. So if all things being equal, we are expecting that by the close of the year, the government would have retooled the company with not less than 500 buses.
And how much will this and how much will this cost us?
Say again?
How much will this cost us, this retooling?
Well, I don't have the figures of it. But I can confidently say that these are buses which the company is going to work and pay for it. And mind you, this framework did not come with any LC, no bank guarantee, no insurance guarantee. Government actually laid down the necessary platform or the environment, ably supported by the Ministry of Finance to give us commencement authorization and Public Procurement Authority to give us the procurement method, so we'll be able to go through the whole system. And with this package, the vendor or the investor or the person who has been contracted to do the supply will take care of the first year comprehensive insurance of the buses. It doesn't come at a cost to government of Ghana. It will not come at a cost to Metromas. Subsequent comprehensive insurance for the machines will then be borne by Metromas. So as a result, as it stands now, currently I can confidently say that if all things being equal, we should be expecting our first fleet of the 300 compacts, or the first phase of the 300 compacts, within the month of March.
And very quickly, we had the Transport Minister say that he also wants an investigation into the sale of the buses you described as scrap. And you have suggested that some were sold as low as 2,500 cedis. When is the investigation beginning? What will be the scope of that? And when do you hope to wrap up? Do you have a timeline for that?
Yes, I'm aware that my minister has put together a committee, which our office has been duly notified. So a committee has been put together, and we work assiduously within the time frame to make sure that we bring this thing to a closure. And all the perpetrators who have, for some reason, committed crime against the company, I can assure you, will face the full rigors of the law.
And that there is Harun Appiah, who is a Deputy Managing Director of the Metro Mass Transit Limited. And Gemma, as we've been talking about this particular challenge, some commuters frustrated about what is happening, they appear to be taking the matter into their own hands, and some drivers have been assaulted. The Interior Minister is not happy with this, and he's condemning some of the actions.
Well, we've been speaking to the minister, who has disclosed that he has directed the Ghana Police Service to launch a full-scale investigation into the incident and submit a detailed report.
And I can assure the workers, not only Minister of Energy or ECG or others, that every single Ghanaian that is maltreated will make sure that the right thing is done. Because we just don't recruit you and give you uniform and arms to molest our citizens. I've said that a number of times. So yes, we want you to keep the system safe, but we don't want you to use it as a license to molest innocent citizens. And because of this, we are even coming up with the independent complaint commission for all the services, so that ordinary citizens can make a complaint in a very fair and easy manner without necessarily the difficulty that we currently have.
And that there is Muntaka Mubarak. He is the Interior Minister, and you're still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Mensah.
My name is Gemma Appiah. Now, the Bui Power Authority has issued a stark warning. Illegal mining around the Bui hydroelectric dam threatens to disrupt electricity supply in parts of the country. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, PR manager Maoli Fui Kwajovia said siltation from Galamsey operations along the Black Volta River is clogging the dam's reservoir, a lifeline for power generation.
Well, we will hear from him shortly, but first, here are excerpts from a Joy News Hotline documentary by Nanaya Ojima, which exposes how the nation's energy security is being choked by environmental destruction.
A Joy News investigative team set out to gather evidence of illegal mining along the dam. The team made a 30-minute journey on a boat to one of the communities notorious for illegal mining. This new settlement for illegal miners is named Akufo-Addo. The mission here is to gather facts on the reality of a national security threat posed by the illegal miners and their activities close to power installations. Even before the boat will dock, the noise from the Shamfan engines is heard about 300 meters from the mining area. Upon sighting the boat, which looked different from those plying the route, some of the illegal miners halted operations and most of them took to their heels. Others threw caution to the wind, perpetrating the illegality with impunity. They mine along the banks of the reservoir of the Bui Dam. The area being mined, according to sources, is an extension of the dam in the rainy season. Here, the mining operations mainly involve the digging of small pits about 4 to 5 feet deep and the same size wide. Simple tools like hoes and pickaxes are the main tools deployed for the activity. From the soil dug, they wash for the precious metal. With some fan machines, they pump water from the dam to wash the sand for the gold deposit. This wastewater is diverted back into the dam, leading to the siltation and pollution of the dam. Acting Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Bui Power Authority, Samuel Nimaku-Boatin, says the menace is causing siltation of the dam's reservoirs.
When the Ganse activities is done, especially upstream, what happens is that it causes siltation of the river. That decreases the effective volume of the reservoir. So if, let's say, we are expecting the reservoir to contain about 100 meter cube of water, because of this Ganse activity, it will rather reduce it to about 80. And then when it reduces to 80, it means that you have limited amount of water to generate power, and that will affect the power generation.
But the miners insist their activities in the river and its banks cannot harm the dam. One of their leaders, Etu, claims they mine sustainably.
The waste we have here can't get to the dam. We have no machine to dig the dam directly. We won't even accept people who attempt to mine in the dam. What we have here can't get to the dam. We dig pits, that is where we wash our gold. We dig 3 pits, and the water used in washing the gold is recycled.
Another leader, who also gives his name as Appiah, is unable to confirm or denying whether their activity pollutes the dam. He says the leadership of the miners often patrol the banks of the river to check against the washing of their tailings into the dam.
I can't admit or deny the allegations of washing our tailings into the dam. Illegal miners are recalcitrant, so we go there often. Sometimes we find the dam clean. On other days, we find wastewater leaking into other places. We fight our people for this behavior. If you find the dam dirty, forgive us.
According to Appiah, in the rainy season, their mining committee ensures all the dugout sand is sent far from the reach of the dam's overflow point. By this measure, he says the sand is not washed directly into the dam.
It has no season,
When the rainy season is due, we make them pack the dugout sand from the reach of the dam's overflow point, so we don't get any issues. By this, it doesn't wash back into the dam. This is where we get our daily meals, and we cannot destroy the area.
The generation of hydroelectric power depends on rainfall patterns to sustain the water levels in the dam. With illegal mining silting the dams and the erratic rainfall due to climate change, many are pointing to a national emergency in dealing with the situation. Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP, Benjamin Boakye, envisages half of the Ashanti region may be cut off the national grid if the situation persists.
So if it is given as a minimum of 200 megawatts, without that, almost half of Kumasi will not have electricity. So that is how significant. We have in recent years also see the plant struggle, and sometimes when the rains don't come on time. So if we keep mining at the banks or in the river, it's actually going to worsen the situation. It's going to get to a point where we may not have enough water in the river or in the dam to generate electricity from the middle belt.
So we can now hear from the PR manager, Mauli Fui Kwajovia.
The activities of illegal mining around the Bui area is having adverse effects one way or the other on our plants. You'd notice that those involved in illegal mining are doing that upstream of the Bui reservoir. Now, it's important to note that hydropower generation depend largely on the reservoir. So the activities of illegal miners upstream the dam causes sedimentation one way or the other, which will have adverse effects on our plants in terms of the cavitation, erosion of the turbine blades and all that. So this is one critical issue that we are challenging as an authority, and we are looking to continue all efforts that we already garnered in terms of fighting the menace within the enclave. Right from the documentary, it was stated that we have a security task force based at the Bui generating station, and that task force is made up of the Ghana Army, the Navy, the Ghana Police, and then the Bui security itself. And this task force are well resourced by us at the Bui Power Authority to fight Galamsey. And beyond that, we've extended help to our the two coordinating councils, i.e. the Savannah and then the Bono coordinating councils as well, in terms of supporting them with vehicles and fueling, resourcing those vehicles in terms of to increase the patrol and to strengthen their activities of illegal mining.
Well, let's bring in Darrell Bosu, who's a Deputy National Director of Arocha Ghana Environmental and Non-Governmental Organization. They've been very active on the ground, leading the fight against illegal mining, using civil society tools. Darrell, thanks for your time here on News Night. Give me a quick reaction to what we're just learning from this documentary now, that we now know that the Bui Power Dam itself, it's now at risk of potential significant damage from illegal mining.
Good evening to you, and I must say that the issue of illegal mining in the Bui reservoir is one classical case of our failure to deal with the menace resulting in this kind of situation that we are facing. One would have expected that, considering the fact that this dam was built within a national park, we have expected some sort of protection given to it over the years. But I think maybe due to poor planning, and we're not setting what to call a buffer zone and ensuring that we strictly manage that area to exclude all illegal encroachment. That's how come we are faced with this situation. So I believe that if we really want to address this matter, we need to be much more brutal, decisive, and deal with it. Because if you listen to some of the commentaries from the people engaged in the mining and those on the ground, I heard one say that if you arrest him 10 times, he's going to come back. That means that our strategies to deal with it are not sufficient. And despite the fact that we have some law enforcement agencies on the ground, I don't think it's yielding the desired results. And that's how come we keep complaining about it. So I think that we need to really get serious and deal with this matter.
And Darrell, tell me, there was a time a few months back when the coalition against illegal mining was very vociferous, and hardly a day goes by without some pressure being mounted on the system to do the right thing. We do not have the same current pressure, at least it's not that obvious. What's your assessment of where we are with the war against illegal mining?
Well, I think we have said time and again that for the strategies that the new government is proposing to work, we need to comprehensively resolve NIMOS to have permanent deployment in locations. Otherwise, just back and forth to the same location, several weeks back and all of that is not going to solve the problem.
Well, last year, towards the end of the year, we were told that we were going to deploy permanent military bases along some of the high-risk areas. We haven't seen that materialize just yet.
No, he hasn't, because they were not giving sufficient resources and all that, and that is why I think that the impunity of Galamsey continues, and you don't really see we being able to stop the menace in key areas that is happening. So, I mean, you ask me what the situation, I think it's still ongoing. The impunity is still out there. I've heard some members of some DCEs and even telling the law enforcement agencies to stay away from their jurisdictions and all of that. So I believe that we have not really done what we need to do to really cut the head of the serpent. Until we do that, we are really going to keep at this. And it's unfortunate that this government promised to do a lot more. And I think that to show true commitment, they need to resolve 9 months for the permanent deployment to happen. That's, in the absence of that, we are just going to keep failing.
Darrell, thank you very much. Darrell Bosu there is a Deputy National Director at Arocha, Ghana Environmental Non-Governmental Organization. And you're still live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. And George, we have Gemma with us.
How are you doing?
On the show. So, yeah. What do you have in the headlines, George?
Well, coming up in business, competition in the oil marketing industry intensifies as another major player, Zen, drops petrol price to 9 cedis 94 pesos. And Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies hopeful of reaching a resolution soon on this fuel price program. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials. Centers Tanks and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Hey, Anjua. Challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. Hey. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. Oh, okay. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better, Pa. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I need your side, Fidelity.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give their smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
For many years, we've been solving Ghana's water storage problems with quality tanks. Syntex tank. You know, it is strong, it's tough, and reliable. And now, we're in to solve the #1 problem when it comes to water carriage: our pipes. With the state-of-the-art machinery, Syntex is providing very strong, tough, reliable, high quality, and durable pipes at a reasonable price. This is Syntex Pipes. With Syntex Pipes, water flows wow. I mean, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. If they carry water, no wahala. With Syntex Pipe, our water problems are solved. Syntex, are you strong? Are you tough?
You welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, competition in the oil marketing industry is getting interesting in terms of price quotes. Now, this is because another major player in the industry, that is Zen Petroleum, has cut the price of petrol to 9 cedis 94 pesos. More in this report.
The quote by Zen Petroleum may be one of the lowest so far by a major oil marketing company in the country. The price war, which started between the market leader Star Oil and the second biggest player Guel, is now spreading to other major players in the industry. First, it was Allied, which cut its price to 9 cedis 95 pesos at some of its service stations across the country. Zen, which can be described as a major player, has also gone down. For this pricing window, the price floor is 9 cedis 80 pesos, so there are strong indications that some oil marketing firms could go down further. Even though we have seen 1 or 2 smaller players go below what has been announced, their market share is not significant enough for the impact to be felt on the market. What this price war has shown is that these firms can indeed go lower than what they initially advertised, and that competition can go a long way in reducing prices at the pumps. All these developments have been influenced by the cedi's sustained appreciation against the dollar.
And sorry for that break in transmission. Now let's go to our second story, where the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies are hopeful of reaching a resolution soon on the current disagreement between members on the fuel price floor program. Dr. Riverson Opon is the chief executive of the Chamber.
This is a very big tug of war for all of us, including you being a consumer and myself. And I believe that this will surely be dealt with holistically. We all know the good and bad side of the implementation of the floor price. I believe that the perception that the floor price was set to save certain businesses should be correct. We are normally dealing with a deregulated market, no doubt.
Dr. Riverson Opon is the chief executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. A Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama has highlighted the critical role of the domestic gold purchase program to the economy despite the issue caused. The governor raised this issue in his New Year engagement with the media.
These measures contributed to improved price discovery, reduced distortions, and a gradual restoration of confidence in the FX markets. Now, the bank's gold programs also played a strategic role during the year. Through the domestic gold purchase program, external buffers were strengthened, FX pressures were moderated, and confidence in Ghana's external position improved. As a result, gross international reserves rose to over $13.8 billion, equivalent to approximately 5.7 months of imports cover. This was historic.
And that is the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. And that's all for Business on Newsnight.
And Joe, thank you very much. We can do sports now.
Evans, in sports, did you watch the game yesterday?
I don't know whether to say I enjoyed the fact that Sadio Mane obviously led his team to another AFCON victory, or to be sad about what this means for African football. Today he's been the #1 subject on TalkSport, and it had been condemnation.
Okay, so we woke up today and there have been a lot of statements by FIFA, the Moroccan FA, and also the Senegalese FA. So the Moroccan FA Federation, they are saying that they've announced to take legal action with both the Confederations of African Football and FIFA regarding the stoppage time in play during the final of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, my colleague Victor Achu Tamaklo, he has more in this report.
Is a man who's got all the mental strength in the world, maybe lost a yard or two of pace, Sadio Mane, but he inspires an attack. Senegal thrust forward. Popke! Sensational!
It was the goal that gave Senegal their second title of the African Cup of Nations. They are just too shy of Ghana, who are still waiting to win it after over 40 years. So that's it for sports events.
Well, reliving the moment there in the background, and if you missed it, I'm pretty sure you can catch it on many social media platforms. What happened yesterday? I don't know, Gemma, if you love football, do you?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
Yeah.
But you must have heard about what happened yesterday, the drama of it all.
Riding, chasing one ball.
Yeah, I remember that advert.
And what happened in 2010? No,
you have no idea what it means to some of us football. It can be the difference between happiness and utter misery. Anyway, so live your news night on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, Joy News is learning tonight that an acute lack of funds has left the district roads improvement program DRIP crippled. The agency is now sounding the alarm, demanding over 2 billion cedis to repair and maintain roads across all 276 districts. And the program's coordinator has disclosed he inherited the program lacking clear structure or planning.
Well, Edwin Ni Lante Vanderboy has been speaking to Mami Isi Nyamiche Thompson on this.
I've just one more than the Minister for Youth and Sports. Really? Yes, because being MP. Yes. I have resigned as an MP, and I think this one will make more impact in the life of the people. And these are the people that I am happy today I've been given the opportunity to serve. Talking about serving, taking over office, taking over the books from your predecessor, what work have they done so far? Let me say this, DRIP was not really structured when we took over because, it was just around September 2024 when the then president inaugurated and launched it. So it took the government some time with the distribution of the equipment across the country and all those things. DRIP was not really set up. So we had a national coordinator, but he didn't have any team to work with. Okay. The first thing I did when I was chosen was that first I recognized that fact that I am not an engineer. So the first thing for me was who are the people I could get. And I saw in Parliament some colleagues of mine, many of them who have that background, engineering background. So when I got those two people, I felt that that was good for me to move. When it comes to issue about roads, and we're also going to depend on money that will be given to us from the District Assembly's Common Fund. I have never done accounting before. I didn't have anything. So I needed someone who would be responsible on how to disburse this money to the assemblies and all those things. Because that was a structure we came to meet. Right. The District Assembly's Common Fund through DRIP disburse money to the districts. So immediately I have to look for someone, accountant and auditor, former MP for Whole Central, Honorable Benjamin Kodo. Right. So when I got these people, I felt that I have a foot in a bit of this country. So what is your vision now for this year? This year, we are praying that the funding bottleneck that we encountered in 2025 would be addressed.
And that there is Neil Vanderpoy. He heads the DRIP program.
Let's take you to Kumasi, where the Metropolitan Assembly is preparing for mass evictions in less than 24 hours along the Santasi-Ahojo Road. Temporary occupants, including car dealers, mechanic shops, taxi operators and traders, will be affected. The KMA served a final notice a week ago for the affected occupants to vacate the area to pave way for the road dualization project to improve vehicular traffic within Kumasi. The Kumasi City Planner, Benjamin Achenim-Boateng, spoke to Joy News.
As for the car dealers, we've had engagements with them. I mean, when Mayor came, we've had engagements not more than 3 with them, series of engagements. They've come to my offices severally. They call, they know the challenge, because Kumasi is a built-up area. You can't find big space, any free space for them to occupy. So we're trying to get pockets so that they can all go, and we've been able to identify some pockets for some of them, and they will go. I mean, you see, with the car sellers, it's not difficult. Moving vehicles is not a big challenge, so nothing will be demolished. Let me use that word. The only thing that stands in the way of demolition will be that temporary structure, the temporary structures along the road. If you're running anything of an economic venture, you would have to find space yourself. But over the years, attempts have not been made by them to find space. It is not our work to find space for them.
And I want us to take a trip to Kumasi now, and let's speak to our correspondent on the ground for us monitoring this, IMANI-Backed, because there's a big question now about whether or not the KMA will proceed with the mass evictions tomorrow. Bright, do we have confirmation?
I'm sorry, so with my earlier engagement with the head of the physical planning at the KMA, that's Benjamin Achenim-Boateng, he said verbatim or categorically that tomorrow the mass eviction will be happening along that stretch. That's the Ahojo runabout to Santasi stretch. In fact, we've had a series of notices starting all the way from somewhere in September 24 and 2025, where they were given a 1-month ultimatum to vacate the premises. But unfortunately, 2 months down the line or 3 months down the line, we've not really seen any of these evictions happening until last week, where we had the final notice from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly that all these temporary occupants along the stretch must leave by tomorrow. And so tomorrow, according to the words of the fiscal planning head for the KMA, he says that tomorrow it's happening. And in fact, the Kumasi mayor himself, Richard Ofori-Atta, has confirmed that the mass eviction is expected to happen from tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be keeping an eye on that stretch to see whether or not this exercise will be happening.
And there's doubt tonight only because this has happened before. Assurances were given and then postponed. For those who are listening to us from the areas who may be affected, you are confirming that there will be no postponement this time.
And so for Evans, in fact, we always speak with the Kumasi mayor, and he has assured that this is the final because they need to clear the way and prepare the road for the actual construction, which is supposed to start somewhere in April. And so they are preparing the way so that the contractor can come on site and then begin the road dualization. In fact, they tell us that when you go to this road, you see some markings there where the contractors or officials from the KMA have erected some posts along the stretch where anybody that goes beyond it will be vacated. So for even the traders themselves, some of them say they are ready for the eviction, but the key question has been where they are going to be relocated. In my earlier interview with the PRO for KMA, she told me that they were having an issue getting funds to set up a place for these people to relocate. In fact, they tell me that it's not their duty for them to relocate them because ideally the spaces they are occupying along the stretch is a government space, and so they are supposed to find, but they are being sympathetic, and so they are finding them a place. But it has been back and forth and a dilly-dally. So we are hoping that tomorrow, hopefully, as they have assured us, the eviction tomorrow will be the final day, and so we'll see the mass eviction happening along that stretch.
Bright, thank you very much. And so if you're one of those currently resident along that Santasi-Ahojo road, you need to pack out, because tomorrow the KMA says they will be conducting that mass eviction. And that's it for Newsnight tonight. My name is Evans Mensah.
My name is Gemma Appiah.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.